Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jason Tucker, and this is WPwatercooler's WPblab episode number 126. This particular topic is going to be marketing yourself as a WordPress developer. But before we get into all of that, I want to tell you a little bit about ServerPress, makers of desktop server. I want you to know that you can go over to serverpress.com. They have a whole bunch of cool stuff going on over there. They make local WordPress development easy. Check them out over at serverpress.com. All right, Bridget, tell everybody about yourself before we go and introduce Rachelle. We'll talk about you first.
Hi, I am BridgetWillard.com, and you can find me at BridgetWillard.com. I do not make bloated plugins, but I will support your your plugin with marketing. I am completely freelance, self-employed, and available. Well, not totally available. I only have 1 or 2 slots left. But if you have questions about marketing on the internet, your product or service, you know how to find me at BridgetWillard.com.
Awesome. As always, Bridget, it's so much fun to do this show with you. I'm Jason Tucker. You can find me over at Jason Tucker on Twitter. My website is jasontucker.blog. I do this show as well as another show called WPwatercooler. You can go take a look at that. That happens at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific on Fridays, which will be tomorrow. So feel free to go take a look at that. This show is also available as a podcast. So if you don't have time to watch us, but you have plenty of time because you're stuck in the car driving to your gig, or you're going to be doing something, or you just need something to listen to instead of listening to the radio or whatever, you can feel free to go listen to us. So go over to WPwatercooler.com/subscribe, where you can learn how to subscribe to this content and all the other content that's happening on the WP Watercooler Network. Did we say all this stuff before we actually get to our guest?
Yep.
Bridget, tell us a little about. Tell us a little bit about our guest, Bridget.
Rachelle Wise is awesome, and that's pretty much the long and short of it. She has a marketing background and a graphics background, but she is a hardcore developer, part of our local OC group, and we brought her on. She's awesome. She's one of my very good friends, a lover of the old-fashioned and karaoke.
Yes.
Nice.
You never made me do that before. That's like putting me on the spot.
I thought I'd try something different.
How well do you know the guest?
How well do you know the guest? Exactly. Well, one of the things that I'm always curious about when it comes to having our guests on the show and where they came from within, like how did they find us? Like, what was it that found? Like, what did they have to go do to find the group? Like, were you on Meetup.com? Like, what were you on that got you to show up at a meetup or show up in the community?
So I used to live in Minnesota. I've lived in Orange County for about 5.5 years. And when I lived in Minnesota, I would go to WordCamps in Minneapolis and some meetup groups around there. And so when I moved out here, after a while, I decided, I have no social life. I was working from home and didn't get out very much. So I started hunting on Meetup, and I'm like, hey, there's WordCamps and groups out here. I need to do all of that. And so you guys are my local group. I'm going to join in. And now, of course, I haven't been attending meetups very regularly, but I watched the show. I love you guys. I got a WordCamp. So I'm out there.
It's been a weird year, but yeah. It happens. Ebbing and flowing is completely normal.
Well, the reason why I brought that up is it definitely relates to this particular topic, which is, being able to market yourself as a WordPress developer. I remember when I first started going to our local meetup, which was the Orange County WordPress Meetup. Going to that meetup, I felt like it was a Shark Tank, not Shark Tank the TV show, but Shark Tank, an actual Shark Tank. And what would happen is a bunch of sharks, which were the developers, would sit around, and somebody who is totally new to WordPress would show up, and they're like, I'm having problems logging into my dashboard. And then Steve, which, absolute genius that he is, stands up in the front and goes like, which of you are developers and which of you are new to WordPress? Okay, like shake hands. Like it felt like church right. It's just okay, everybody shake hands. And so they would essentially shake hands like, hey, how's it going? Whatever. And then what would end up happening is at the end of it, you would either exchange business cards if you're, old school, or if you're, trading Twitter accounts or Facebook stuff, or add them to the Facebook group do all these sorts of things to try to get them to come in. But it felt like a Shark Tank because we were all fighting over the little guppies that were getting thrown in there. We were like trying to get gigs like as quick as possible. Like, hey, cool, I'll help you out, or let me show you how to do this. Or some of them were like, you know what? I don't want to do any of this WordPress stuff. I literally came here to find somebody like you.
Wow.
And I was like, how awesome is that?
Chum in the water.
Totally.
I missed that era. I wasn't getting any gigs off of it.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Nice.
So that was the reason why I brought this up, is the simple fact that if you go to one of these meetups, especially if you go to one where a lot of newbies showed up, because if your meetup has both a developer, lack of a better term, a developer track and a normal track, or a beginner one, you could go to the beginner one and those people start asking questions, and after a while they're just like, I'm tight, I'm kind of done with this. Like, I'm gonna go use one of the competing products. And you're like, whoa, you put a lot of money and time into this thing. Can I help you out by like just getting you there? You already spent all the money on all the stuff. Hopefully you bought the right stuff, but let me try to get you there. And so I don't know, that was my way of kind of marketing my business by saying like, hey, I can help you out if you need to. And it worked out.
Cool. I've definitely given a lot of free advice, but I haven't got any paid stuff from it. Well,
I got a couple paid gigs out of it,
yeah.
which was well worth it. But also, just going to other things, and we'll definitely kind of get into talking about that a little bit. So when Bridget and I were kind of discussing this topic and how we should kind of approach it, I wanted to see what is it that both you and I did, Rachelle, how you and I kind of worked this out of building our business and trying to get all this stuff going. And what did we do so far, and what can we do different? And then we go to Bridget. Bridget's the marketing person. We say, okay, Bridget, what else can I do here? She's like, well, have you set up an ad in the newspaper? Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you, whatever. Mm-hmm. So what have you done so far?
Moi. I have not explicitly, like, I guess you could say I've done marketing, but I haven't really given it a lot of thought. I haven't done anything that's, I haven't done like any paid ads or anything. I pretty much what happened is I was working at an agency. I left there and started working for one company from home as I was their sole developer, and that company kind of had issues and ended up going under and had to let me go. And at that point, I was loving working from home, and I'm like, I can't go back to a company again. So I reached out to some contacts from the agency that I had worked at, and I had met some other people. I don't know, just people I met, and just kind of reached out to everybody like, hey, I'm open, I'm doing stuff. And it just has been pretty much, I would say now, like 80 to 90% of my work is referral based. It's just
That's awesome.
I meet somebody, I do a project for them, they tell two of their friends and their friends, and so on and so on and so on, and it's just like, I just end up getting these amazing chains of referrals. And sometimes I'll meet somebody that's like this opening to this amazing pool of work, or these really great clients. And so I have a lot of individual people that I work with that kind of come back or kind of refer me to other people. And then I have a couple agencies that I kind of do like nonstop work for. And then I meet random people, like I do a Zen meditation, and I was at Zen on Sunday, and there was a guy there that I hadn't met before, and he's a musician, and he's telling me about his stuff. I'm like, oh, do you sell your sheet music? Because he makes guitar music. And he said, oh yeah, I'm trying to work on my website. I need to find somebody to help me on that. And I'm like, hey, you're talking to the right person. So I have a meeting with him on Monday, like I just random things like that happen. And I just like, I've never really had to market too hard, and I'm
Bridget,
always
she
swamped.
is marketing.
Okay,
All those things she just said is marketing.
I get the magic word. The magic word is
thinking about
referral.
Yeah.
Okay?
Referral. Yeah.
And most businesses work on referrals, and this is why brand awareness campaigns are so important. For example, you being on the show reminds people that Rachelle Wise from Wise Arts is accepting client work. I mean, she might have a really big backlog, but you know what I mean?
You might have to wait a few months.
Well, a backlog's great.
Oh no.
Yeah.
She's busy because she's actually good at what she does. Oh no.
But that's, that's a good thing. And also, like, a lot of times people come to me because I'm like, I feel like a lot of times I'm the greeter. You know, like people recognize me. I like the other day I had this kid come to me and he's like, hey, he went and found my phone number and started messaging me and was asking me like if I could give him some assignments. He built this website. Can you give me some assignments?
Okay.
Well, I'm not a developer. He's like, but you're the
Possible.
guru, right? Like, so to me, I feel like because I am so out there, you know, like he's just saying like, I trust you, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even know who this person is, but I was like, I took a chance because he messaged me on WhatsApp and said, hello, Bridget, good morning. And I'm like, there's not that many people who would know my name.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
pretty
like,
good.
how do I know you? At first I was like, and then I just went, you know what? It's fine. Like, this is what you need to do. Free code camp, set up your GitHub, set up CodePen, start doing some free work to build up your portfolio. And then Jason and I were talking like, that's a great, subject. Like somebody asked me, how did you build your business? Well, when I lost my job,
Yeah.
I started talking to my referrals. So
Who would've
like
thought?
that brand awareness is number one. Like I would say, stop telling people that you are like a ninja of, back end. Nobody knows what that is. Okay. Just tell them you build websites. Like
Yeah.
developers fine for like the in-house referral people, but real people don't even know what that means.
That's what I'm always thinking. Like the people that need the website don't even care what it's built on, like
they don't care. They
talk
don't
about
care.
stuff
They don't
care about.
know. Like somebody asked me, and I had a consulting call with one of my high school friends actually. And I was like, "Oh, Chris, you want it to be on WordPress. Just trust me on this. Like you want to own your content. You don't want if you're going to be a writer and write stuff,
Mhm.
you definitely want to own your content, and you don't want to be on something that's easy maybe to start. But obviously, you can go to WordPress.com.
Mhm.
It's better than Wix. So feel free to use that automatic. But the thing is, like that referral basis is so important. I've been doing social media marketing for 10 years. You've been building websites for however long. Jason's been doing this for however long. So as I just feel like that referral marketing is marketing. It's that intention of not burning bridges. Like this isn't World War II.
Yeah.
We're not getting rid of the bridge over the River Kwai, right?
Right.
We want all bridges to be as open as possible. We don't have to necessarily work with other people again, but we want to keep that,
Mhm.
because the thing is, maybe somebody asks Jason to do it, but he's like, I don't do that kind. Rachelle does. Or maybe Rachelle is like, well, I don't do that. Maybe Roy's free.
Oh yeah. I have
Right? And
definitely had
so
times where I'm too busy and I have referred stuff off to other people because and that's how it works. Yep.
and it
big words.
happens that way. But you
Yeah.
have to build stuff. So like the new person, I feel like you should do the same thing we do as marketers. Like I did a bunch of free work,
Mhm.
a bunch
Yeah.
of free work. I did a promotional company and my local mechanic and plumber. 3 years I did their Twitter and Facebook for free.
Yeah. I started
But
out charging $50 an hour.
yeah, and then I was like $250 a month, for a roofer. And I slowly
Yeah.
just built up my portfolio and my experience. So I could say I understand business to business marketing completely, not just this one period of time at Riggins Construction, right? So like, how would somebody market their pro bono work? You think? What's a good way to seek out a nonprofit and say, I want to help your
No, I feel like you almost should like maybe find somebody that looks like they need your help, or I don't know, like maybe somebody that needs your help. Seems like it would be easier. I don't know. I probably wouldn't just advertise it because you'd end up getting a lot of inquiries and you probably don't want to deal with all that. I don't know.
A hackathon might be good. I know Do Action is doing a lot more, but they're very limited.
Mm-hmm.
But something like that might be good. Like, yeah, if you went and approached them.
Yeah.
you know, a local nonprofit or maybe a local business.
Make them
Like
an
that
offer they can't
pizza
refuse.
place. You found that pizza place in Whittier or something, Jason?
Yeah, yeah.
It was terrible.
But
Terrible website.
There's just going into local businesses, and you know, you go old school. You have to go get business cards printed. No joke. I have a box of business cards, like a huge box of business cards that I think I maybe have knocked out maybe 3% of them.
oh
Because
yeah,
I bought
same.
too many, but you buy enough to make sure that things, you know, so it's cheap, and then you're like, oh crap, I have like so many of these things. What am I supposed to do with this?
Don't
But
use
I took those everywhere. I'd just keep a couple in my pocket. I'd go places and just hand them out like candy. And so, you know, you go to a pizza place, and the pizza place, you look up their website, and you're just like, whoa, like half of this is in Flash, and Flash doesn't even work anymore. So hey,
I can't find the phone number.
Right?
or I went to like get my dogs groomed, and it was a brand new dog grooming place that just opened. And I walked in, I was like, hey, here's my business card. You know, I build websites. Oh, I need a website done. And so for like 3 years, I got my dogs groomed for free. Like that's
Oh,
worth it. You
That's
know, you
cool.
set up a website, you never touch it again. You just make sure all the plugins get updated.
mhm,
Okay, sure.
mhm.
Yeah, bartering is not bad. It's actually funny because that reminded me of this project that Dwayne McDaniel was doing. He just picked a state. He picked Maine, and he like picked an interstate and would go on it, look at the street view and the businesses, and see if they had a website. And if he didn't, he would make one really quick in HTML
Uh-huh.
just for the, you know, Google My Places or whatever.
Right.
Cool.
I mean,
That's cool.
I mean, that might be one way to do it. Like, just say, "Hey, I built this for you. You can have it. Here it is."
Yeah.
Like, or build them like as not paid, but like, here's an example of something I built.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Hmm.
Seems like a good way to approach it.
Otherwise, you need to work with somebody like how, like, you can't get. It's like must have experience to apply. How do I get experience?
yeah.
You know. And like Gary Vee used to say, if you want to be a public speaker and be paid for it, you got to do the free gigs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of us do WordCamps, because it's brand awareness. I know we don't get paid with exposure, but it's really just part of a brand awareness campaign.
Totally. Well, that
Yeah, I mean,
I've had people come into our my Whittier WordPress meetup, and they come in, they go like, I don't know how to do WordPress. I'm here to learn. Or they've never used WordPress before, but they want to start building websites for people. And I'm like, whoa, okay, like step back for a second. Have you made any fake websites? Like, have you made like a website that sells something? Have you made a website that's just a blog? Have you made a website that's just like a one pager? Have you made like all these things and like test it? You know, are these good for, you know, are these good? Are these marketable things? And they're like, no, I've never done that before. I'm like, well, I wouldn't hire you if you have zero experience. Like, you don't even have negative experience. Like, it's like you have to build
Start
something.
somewhere.
Please build
Yeah.
something, and then start from somewhere. Exactly.
Mhm.
And so, you know, kind of approaching them in that way. Well, you know, even going to that meetup, that person was just like, could you show me how to do this? And I'm like, well, yeah, speak. Like, if you learn something, learn how to do it, and then come back and then teach us something.
yeah,
Because, you know, that's one of the ways you learn. You know, you hear it, you see it, you teach it, you do all those things, and you have to kind of do that in order to be able to get to that next piece.
Mhm.
So exposure.
yeah. But like, so what if you wanted to have another team member? What would you look for, Rachelle, in a developer, in their CV, or what would you want to see?
I honestly would want to see things that they have built. I would want to see, a GitHub account with code that they have written. I see a lot of people getting caught up on like, I don't know, semantics and specifics about languages that they know and stuff, but I would be looking for somebody that knows how to learn, because things change fast. And so
Mhm.
somebody that's willing to learn new things and try new things and is good at looking things up on Google, because, you know, like you can't have all the answers at once. I don't know. That's hard. I honestly have very rarely subcontracted things out because I am afraid to give work to other people. For me, I've given projects to other people. Like, I don't have time to do this. You can do it, but I haven't given parts of my projects to other people. Generally, a couple times I have, but just because I'm nervous about that. I guess I just don't trust people. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely, if I was looking for a developer, I would want to see a portfolio of projects that was really high quality. I would be looking for, if they do development and design, I would want to see, really good design. I would want to see websites that don't all look like a bunch of little boxes and, like give me something a little interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Just something unique, some personality. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean, that totally does make sense. So, I mean, I feel better just in the advice I gave that kid. GitHub, CodePen.
Yep, you are right on. That is the path.
He was like, I did Linda. I'm like, did you do free code camp? Today he messaged me, oh my God, free code camp is so awesome. I'm doing so many lessons. I'm like, good, because you'll get that certification when you're done. And you have to build projects. It makes you build projects. That's why I'm stopped.
Yeah.
I'm stopped at my responsive web design projects that have 5 to build.
Bridget, finish your projects.
I know. I could watch Dead to Me, or I could do projects that mean nothing because I'm just trying to prove the marketers are technical. I'm never going to build a website.
Oh, come on. Well, I think that's the thing too. Like if you're just starting out, you should build projects that you care about, like you should take one of those projects and make it into something that you care about, or like, a topic that you love, or like tell a friend you're going to build a website and just dive in, like if that's a good
idea.
If there's like some impetus for doing it other than just, this is a project and I have to do it, like if there's something behind it, or you owe somebody something, like
feels like homework.
Yeah.
Like I'm 46 years old. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But that's where going back to those pizza websites and those different websites that are out there, build it just so you have content. So you're going to copy and paste all the content and throw it all in there and rework it and be like, okay, look, I built a thing. I can't show it to anybody because I stole all this content and all these images and everything off the website. But I made a copy of their website and it looks way better now. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Then go sell it to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For real.
I was like, a legacy site. I already did one for Mercier. And Mary Baum was like, do one for Sully.
There you go.
And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea.
I'll build another site.
He did have a lot of character,
Yeah.
Did you do it?
No, I haven't done it yet because I went to Vegas for that training.
Oh, yeah.
She's just going to build it in React when she gets to that point.
I know, right? No, I can't go forward until I build these. So it's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like my head, isn't it funny, like total segue, how much travel throws your, like you just came back from a business trip, Jason. Like the travel throws, I thought all day today was Tuesday.
Oh, Lord, no. You're a couple days off now.
And then Jason's like, it's time for the show. I'm like, what? But wait. And I'm like, oh, because I didn't go on the weekend like a WordCamp. I went during the middle of the week.
Right.
So it totally threw me off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm going to do it because that's the reason why, for me, while I'm doing free code camp, is like, it's good to keep learning. The brain is good. And who's my audience? Who do I work with?
Yeah.
Developers. You have to be able to speak their language. I'll be like, oh yeah, can't you just use CSS Grid for that? Oh wow, Grid. No, it was so funny because I was at a kind of a after WordCamp thing with a bunch of people, and they were like, oh yeah, this multi-site thing, and I don't know how we would update all those languages. I go, why don't you just use WPCLI? Like it seems so obvious to me after Sean Hooper's presentation in Atlanta a couple of years ago. And the guy got up, went to his boss, and like, oh, we love you, Bridget. But like, see, the marketing is the strategic parts, right? So it's like we all need each other. So like, I think a lot of times it's so easy to be, and we've talked about this on the show so many times, a cobbler's children have no shoes.
Amen. I haven't
But
updated
if you don't maintain your own portfolio and your own website, the cobbler is not going to be making shoes for anybody.
And also check the links of all of the different websites that you've built. If those websites don't exist and you have screenshots of them, oh my gosh, put a screenshot on there.
Okay. So Jason, just saying that right now.
Yeah.
Don't link to the website only. Because it could change, not just die. Like Riggins Construction died and then went back to the old CSS Zen Garden piece of crap that I built or stole. He went back to the non-WordPress one, right?
Wow.
But I had screenshots in my blog post about building that first site. So a lot of times when I tell people to do case studies, which is a great way to market yourself as a developer, they'll just link to the site. But what if the site changes and somebody takes it over and it's crap?
Yeah.
I say screenshots.
I've also been making videos once in a while to send people, like,
I built this functionality. I built that function.
Yeah,
When you're a developer, you can't show the code. Like no one gives a crap about what the code is, but they care about like the functionality behind that code. Like, what did that thing do? You're like, I built this really cool thing where, no joke, you click on this thing and a calendar pops up. And they're like, wow, that's so cool. And you're like, but that's all I built on this whole thing. And I was hired to do this one little piece, and I built the calendar and I popped it in there.
Yeah.
Videos and case studies.
Videos and case studies.
Somebody's writing that down.
A website that I built that was really complicated. It was for kind of a large manufacturer, and I built the whole thing from scratch, and it had all of these little moving parts. And when you're just on the website, it's things that you might kind of overlook, like there's interesting search functionalities and like auto-generating PDFs and all this kind of stuff. And so I made little videos about how all the pieces work. And if somebody comes to me and they need something like that, I could say, oh, I have this video from this site that I did. Check out how this works. And I could do this for you too. So I definitely love videos.
Are you putting those on your website?
No, my website has not been updated for like 5 years.
This is great. I love it. Because what's going to happen is we're gonna force her to change her site. It's gonna be awesome.
So what happens is people don't go to my website. People don't go to my website. They come to me through, I meet them somewhere, or it's somebody that knows somebody, and they send me an email like, hey, so and so told me that.
Wait, they don't go to your website after that?
They might, but I mean, they already know me. And so I'm like, okay, my website is old. Here's a more recent project that I did, and I send them links to videos or whatever they need done. And like, okay, this, I could do this on your website. And so, I don't know. I probably should update my website. But again, it's like the time thing. I need to put my clients first. So
it is a tricky discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I've been using I have a URL shortener that's just for me, that I just use for my own stuff. And I actually use UTM links. I put in the campaign and which, all those pieces.
That's the non-marketer. I don't even use
he's doing hardcore analytics now.
But I use those to figure out if people are actually clicking on the links or not. So when they click on it, it goes to that thing. It redirects to the correct site with the UTM link. And now I know if they actually did the thing or not.
Smart. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do that on all my tweets. Like every tweet that I push out there, if it has a link that goes to one of my properties, then I have those links in there because I want to know what's going on.
Friday, Bridget's doing free code camp, and Jason's using UTM codes.
All right, guys.
Well, it's worth it. Like those types of efforts that you're putting in are totally worth it, because it tells you whether or not the things that you're doing are worth it or not. Like just recently I built this like bio page that just says, here's all the stuff that I do. And on Twitter, on Instagram, on GitHub, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, like all those places, that link goes to that spot. Well, I put UTM codes on all that stuff. I want to know if somebody clicks on it or not. Did you actually click on the thing and get there or not? And I have event tracking all over the page as well, because it's like, did you scroll down the page? Did you click on it? Were you on a web browser that was on a mobile? Were you on desktop?
Or you're
I want to know all that stuff.
In disguise.
I know, right?
He likes the data.
I like the data. I hate doing the work, but I love the data.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like when I go to events and stuff like that, speaking, that makes me go, oh, I need to fix my website, or oh, I need to blog about this. And I was on a call with somebody, and I was saying, well, you have to treat it like it's important, like your client work. You need to schedule in your calendar. And I was like, duh, Bridget. And I just put 12 to 2 Fridays blogging time. And
do you stick to it?
I have been last 3 weeks, because I'm like, the thing is, if it's in my calendar, then nobody can nobody can schedule that time. I could do it before. I'm like, oh, if I already get it done by the time it's Friday, then I could do whatever I want. It's like a weird Bridget self-awareness thing.
She likes homework. It's weird.
I used to do my homework in class while the teacher was talking.
Wow.
Wow, you're
So,
one of
but I
those
would come
people.
until I went to college, and then it got hard. Like, but in school, that's what I did. I would come home with no homework.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
like those kinds of things are ingrained in me. Like you have to do your homework before you can go out to play. And my friends will say, "Oh, let's go to the beach, Bridget." Oh, I can't. I could go after 2.
I just haven't
12
been
to 2
able to
is fine
honor
blogging.
it. I
Well,
went to
it's so easy though, because I work from home.
yeah.
It's so easy, and to just go like whatever. Oh, my work is done. Like who cares?
Oh, well, that's my work is never done. So there's that. There's always something to do, but
Yeah, you're busier than me. I have room for
push my own stuff in there,
Yeah. But I mean, I just keep thinking like as a marketer, I have to have my Twitter account should be the best.
Mhm.
And it is. But that's because that I do that on purpose.
Case studies.
Yeah. I mean, it is more work. And of course I'd rather be at Hennessy's drinking right now. But like
I'll go with.
I know, right? But like, I mean, that's the thing is like at some point we have to put ourselves first, because the thing with referral work,
Mhm.
now you're good about being on the internet. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit about that, Rachelle. But the thing is, a lot of times people build a thing, put up a landing page, especially with WordPress products. They'll build a thing, put up a landing page, and then go, okay, well, I built it, they should come. That just doesn't, when they make a Twitter account, and then you don't even know if it's still in existence. You're
Yeah.
like, what is even happening here? And, and they're like, well, I told people at some meetups. But I mean, at some point, your first circles, you're going to exhaust your first circle
Mhm.
of, the people that know who you are. And then you're going to need to like expand those circles. You do that through marketing, whether it's social marketing or advertising, or even Ross, who goes to Chamber of Commerce's. Was he up to 7 now, Jason?
Yeah.
Ross Kyle goes-
Actually 9. He went up. He has 2 more that he just added. But his business is Chamber of Commerce's. Like he builds Chamber of Commerce websites.
But he started by going to them, and then he would have
yeah.
a prize at his table, and he was like hardcore about it.
He totally is.
But like I'm not doing that. And in fact, I think I'm not even going to renew because I don't work with local businesses as much as I like. I work with WordPress. Like 90% of my clients are on WordPress. So I don't need that. I need to be on Twitter. I need to be at meetups, which I haven't been going to. I need to go to WordCamps, which I haven't been going to, like that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So it does sort of depend on your audience. So if you're doing a lot of referrals, then your peers are your audience.
Mm-hmm. I hear really mixed reviews about Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, I think it depends what kind of businesses you want to work with.
It totally does depend.
If I were actually hardcore marketing myself, if I wanted to do marketing for myself, what I think I probably would do is kind of pick a niche. I've kind of been all over the place. I've done websites for everything from like funeral homes to Harley Davidson, like I've just been all over the place. But I would probably pick a niche and go to like a trade show or something, like just to, and build landing pages specific to that niche, and just I think to specify, to be specific is kind of a good thing if you don't really have a referral network or a an audience. I think you've got to pick something. Perhaps that has not been a problem for me yet, but I always have the little wheels turning in my head, like, okay, if all of my referrals dried up, what would I do? Like I'm ready.
Yeah, because it's like a coal engine, a train. You just got to keep shoveling that in there.
Yeah,
it will go for a long time with that momentum and the work you did, but at some point you have to keep shoveling.
Yeah, you got to keep your eye on the pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, it is tricky. And that's why I always tell people I have room, because a lot of my friends would say, how come you're not referring work to me? I'm like, I didn't know you were taking work. You have a day job. Now people DM me and go, I am taking side work, because they know I hear about it.
Right.
Like, I feel like the operator lady.
But those people sometimes don't want to publicly say like I'm taking on side work,
Right.
because they have a full-time job with some company, and
Yes.
essentially they're competing for time with not competing with time like in their, doing work like double dipping, but
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like you have a job, you have those 8 hours, and then everything thereafter, it's up to you what you want to do.
right.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have that
But
issue.
but still, it's like back channel marketing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I go, oh, I'll keep my ear to the ground. Like, what do you do? Well, I do this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, well, can I have your LinkedIn profile?
Mhm.
That's another thing I recommend. And then he
Heck
became
yeah.
my friend on LinkedIn, GitHub,
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn,
Have
and
you
GitHub.
guys have you guys gotten on Alignable yet?
No.
No, I
I
don't. I
got-
don't sign up on any of those things. So I
Oh
get
my
so
God,
many
don't
emails.
do it. I had somebody like probably put their whole contact list into that.
Oh,
And I got the thing and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try this. And then I got in there and it asked me for my contact list. I'm like, no. And then
stop.
so I was sitting in there and didn't have like a ton of connections or anything. And they just totally bomb you with emails. And then I actually did have some people like contact me, but it wasn't people that I would consider really good clients. And it's like, oh, I got to get off of here. It's not good. It's like LinkedIn Junior. Don't do it.
It's so bad. But LinkedIn itself,
LinkedIn is good.
especially because the culture of LinkedIn allows you to brag about yourself.
Mhm.
You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
look like such a jerk. You should put all your skills in there, all your projects and things like that,
I put every one of these episodes as a video on my LinkedIn for WPblab.
Cool.
And before that, before I even did any of this stuff, anytime I did public speaking and recorded it, I took those videos and put it in associated with that particular job. And that just should, like, people want to read it, see it, hear it. And if you can do all those things, great. But like that GitHub account can only do you so much. And if you get some video in there, cool. And if you can showcase the stuff that you're able to build, then that's where you can leverage LinkedIn.
Yeah, like what you were saying earlier, Rachelle, about showing video of the actual product of the code.
The interactions.
Yeah.
And the back
I mean, just
end
even like 2 minutes or 30 seconds. Like
and if you couldn't, I don't know how that relationship, like how to navigate the waters of that relationship with that client or the former client.
On their privacy,
but
right?
if you could somehow anonymize the site by essentially like, going into like, the CSS and just kind of hiding out a bunch of stuff, and just show like, here's the block and here's all the things I did within it.
Yeah.
That might be worth it to do. And if you did that, I mean, that's something that you can show and really be like, hey, so let me show you the thing that I built, and you can talk about it. And then
that is a problem. That is a problem I run into a lot too. Like I've done stuff, it's like internal stuff, it's behind a wall, nobody can even get to it. I can't really share it, Yeah, that is definitely a good
point.
But
if you anonymize it and just kind of hide a bunch of stuff, it might be worth it. I've done things where I get tired of like showing statistics, like actual numbers of things on Google Analytics. And I've been using code snippets that would just run in the browser that would just like change all the numbers to letters. So you can't even tell what it is. It shows you the graph, but doesn't show you what the graph actually is. Like it just shows you that there was a graph change between this and this and this and this, but then the numbers on the bottom are just like gobbledygook.
You're not giving anything away.
Yeah, so you just change the selectors and change a few things in CSS and you're good.
Just change a few things in CSS.
Just.
I had another thought about LinkedIn, something that has actually been kind of a pain in the butt for me, but something that I think if somebody was looking for work, they should do on your LinkedIn account. Be sure to list everything that you do. Like I list every type of coding and platform and anything that I am even remotely interested in. And I have got recruiters driving me nuts. If you would like recruiters to drive you nuts,
I love your LinkedIn is hilarious.
Put all of
star recruiters. I am very shamefully self-employed.
They are horrible. Like
I love it.
There's a switch somewhere to say if you're interested in work or not. I have that off.
But they still
I
hit
put
you
that
up.
note in. They still hound me.
Oh my
and
God.
I mean, I
People
definitely
use the word recruiter and they're searching for it.
I don't know.
That's
But
hilarious.
a lot of times I get messages, like I got 3 emails on the same day, and there were people looking for somebody in our area that had experience with Magento. So I don't know if there's like not a lot of people that list that in their LinkedIn. Like I'm sure that, if you know PHP, you can probably work with Magento. So I don't know.
Right.
Like, list all the things in your LinkedIn profile, because people will find you and they might have good jobs. I think, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that people are approaching me for is on-site only, and I don't do that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
but I don't know. I think, and I definitely don't really want to do full-time either. I want to stick to contract stuff. But I mean,
Right.
if the right thing came along, I don't know. It just kind of depends. But yeah, fill out your LinkedIn profile for sure.
Yeah, it's funny because people like tend to not pay attention to it. Only the thing is that that's where the C-suite is. And the decision makers
Yeah.
are there. You want better jobs. You could put the things on GitHub, build your pro bono sites, Faker, whatever, and then take those screenshots and put them on, or take that code that's in GitHub and put it on LinkedIn.
Right.
Say,
Link it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a JavaScript programmer. If you're a JavaScript programmer, oh my gosh, I'd let stuff just living in the browser. They're going to look at it anyhow. So, throw some of that code in there and be like, look, here's some stuff that I wrote. PHP is so much harder.
It's not though. It's
no, it's
really
hidden.
not.
It's hidden behind. It's hidden behind the server. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't show it off. You can be like, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but JavaScript, it's like,
your JavaScript is gross.
Like,
I can see.
Yeah, it is. I minified it.
I minified it. That's
nice.
Funny.
You got to do it. That's cool.
So what else do we got, Bridget? We got like a couple more minutes here till we jump into tool.
Okay, so if you're new, you should definitely learn your code. Keep learning it. GitHub, LinkedIn, CodePen. Go to collaboration events if you can, hackathons, that kind of thing. Go to local businesses, build them. WordCamps. JavaScript camps, anything like that. And
there's a group for everything.
There is a group, and there's meetups for everything. There's e-commerce meetups, Shopify meetups, WooCommerce meetups. Pick a niche.
Yeah, pick one.
Yeah, I mean, the travel industry is ripe.
Oh yeah.
Anybody in the travel industry, their websites are so horrible.
Why is that?
From the vendors to the agents to the wholesalers, social media is even worse. I actually wrote on something from Journeys, and they specialize in French Polynesia. Nobody can read this words on your flyer. And they go, just click it and it expands. I go,
how are we supposed to know that?
Phone?
Oh, not even responsive.
Like you have a flyer on Facebook. How big is it going to expand? Let's see.
She's measuring.
3 inches. Okay? Your flyer is 3 inches on an iPhone XR.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into reality, people. Nobody can read that. Grow up. Stop and they have these siloed marketing departments that go, this is all you're allowed to use. And then the social media person just puts it on there and then they look stupid. Just take the words from the flyer and put them in the caption. Yeah. Things like that. And maybe a lot of times Kevin Hoffman talks about his sort of case studies or things he's learning by big giant threaded tweets. I mean, I kind of wish he would make blog posts because, it'd be easier to find later and stuff like that. But he's like, well, I'll do this on a tweet. Whatever is anything to document what you're doing.
Yeah.
You want to document what you're doing for sure. So I decided what my tool or tip of the week is, and it's a little different. Okay. So this is bad. Instagram has me.
Instagram has you?
I am completely need to stop shopping on Instagram.
Oh, the ads, right?
Not even just ads, but it's a bathing suit. It's jewelry.
Oh, some of
It's
them.
like
You should follow
whatever.
things
Okay.
I follow. None of those things are buyable things.
I know, but I found this cool thing and I've been doing the kickboxing and the extra exercising. Today I ran off and on for 2 miles with Wendy and Jules. They like coached me like, come on, because I'm having hysterectomy and I know that I will recover faster after that if I, get healthier, right?
Yeah.
So, and with all this dental work, I can't really eat salads. And I haven't been able to eat salads since January or fruit really. I have to eat soft things.
Okay.
And I'm kind of lazy. So I found this thing on Instagram called Kenko, KENCKO. And they give you prepackaged 100% organic instant fruit and vegetable drinks right to your door. Just
I saw
enjoy.
that.
It's deliciously good for you. So that's their copy. So like body,
Bridget's already redoing their stuff.
deliciously good for you. But it's the equivalent of 2 veg and fruit. And they're all different mixes, and it's not good, but it's not gross. Like it's not like a juice it up drink where it's like, wow, this is so delicious. It's just not disgusting. Okay. Yeah. It's only 80 calories and it makes me drink like 8 ounces of water. And I put in there, I'm getting fiber because it's dehydrated fruit and vegetables. So I'm getting the fiber and I'm getting the nutrition.
Yes.
In a fast, easy way, and it works out to be about $3 each, which is about $4 less than going to juice it up. And forget about like any other juice place that's even more expensive.
So what you're saying is put stuff on Instagram and Bridget will buy it.
Pretty much. But like they're not from the United States, they're from somewhere else. I don't know where. Because I get these foreign packages. My friends are like, stop buying on Instagram. But I'm telling you, I thought, okay, I'm gonna try this out. It's pretty good. And like I said, for the greens has kale and spinach and pineapple and stuff. And like normally if you gave me some green drink, I'd be like, that's not happening. So I thought, okay, well, at least I'll get fiber. And so I decided to become a monthly subscriber.
Oh, she's a subscriber too.
Oh, watch out.
Yeah. I'm subscribing to the 30 pack because I thought this is a good way to trick myself into better nutrition, especially when I can't eat salads, because this all dental work isn't going to be done until after July.
So what would you advise a developer to do on Instagram, or like somebody that's selling services that are not tangible goods? Okay, so Instagram is so good for the backstory. Instagram's good for live videos, like those video snippets you were just talking about, or like just saying, like I even take a picture of free code camps. I'm like, oh, I'm on responsive web design. I love it. My friend would be so proud of me. Oh, look, I just passed the accessibility, in HTML5. Hey, today's accessibility day, right?
Yes, it is. Today is World Accessibility Day. But
stories are good too.
But stuff like that, stories are 24 hours.
I know, but if that's all it needs to be, that's fine. Like, don't go and like put your wedding pictures on stories.
No, but
and that's the only place you ever put them.
Okay, so here's the thing. I was just teaching this group. They had 24 posts and 80 followers. So like, we're gonna do stories at this event. What's the purpose of the event? To get more followers. Who sees your stories?
Maybe
current followers. Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have any followers, then that's not gonna help you.
Not how you get more followers.
No, that's not how you get more followers.
Right. So for Instagram, I would show snippets of code or like go back and forth. Like I've done that when I've lived my free code camp, where you there's the code I just put in. I'll like zoom in and show it, and then I'll press check, and then it's right, and it goes yay. So like if you were writing code and then you did it and it worked, you're like yay, stuff like that.
Today when I fixed this WooCommerce site, like bang, it ran.
Or when you're with a bunch of friends and you're about ready to talk about some stuff, it might be Instagram on Instagram.
Whoa. Right? But like stuff like that shows the backstory, that you're involved with people, that you're at a WordCamp, that you're at a meetup, or things like that. They do help. Instagram is very good with consumable products, which surprises me. I almost just bought another bathing suit today. I'm like, stop, drop,
You're
and
a
roll.
beach bunny now.
Stop, drop. Well, I've just got okay with my body size. I'm 45 years old, almost 46. I'm like, I'm 225. That's what it is. I don't care. I mean, I'd rather be under 200 for health reasons, but this is what I look like.
Yeah.
Stop me from being outside.
Be here now.
Well, but it did for so many years, you know? So I'm getting into, like, I'm just at that age where it gets me, and I like Instagram, and I am just going a dog, a cat, a rainbow, a dog, a cat, somebody's flowers.
Totally.
Dog, right?
Yeah.
And so like that, like to me, for example, you have Micah and Shane. So I'm a dog lover. So I'm like, you know, that makes me connect with you more.
Aww.
Right. And you know, like, who else is a dog lover? Tessa Creasel from Pantheon.
Yeah.
And so like the Instagram lets you show your personality. Now, if you're a golfer and I'm a golfer, it's the same thing.
Right.
But
if you like old fashions and I like old fashions,
right? And I have been finding the good ones. So I now found another good place. I went on a date in Mission Viejo. It's almost better than the one I told you. One I told you. They strain it the way they're supposed to. But what I'm saying is,
yeah,
you know, having a good picture. That's what they did. They had a good picture. And then it like listed all the fruits that was in it. What they didn't list it with stupid emoji either, which I could read it. Because I can't read emoji, you guys, on my phone.
I'm going to show you how to use the assistive features in there. It's hilarious. Bridget, not to cut you off, but we have two other people that need to do our tour tip of the week. So
you shouldn't have asked me about Instagram during the middle of my tour tip.
Rachelle, do you want to do yours? Or do you want me to do mine first?
I didn't know I had to have one. Now
well, you better figure out something real quick, and I'll do mine real quick then. So we talked about UTMs, and I thought I would share with you a little bit about UTMs. So I use a tool in Chrome called Google Analytics URL Builder, and I'll have the link in the show notes. And it's just a Chrome, it's just a thing that's built in, you just kind of add it as a Chrome extension. And what happens is you click on that on any page that you're on, and a little pop-up comes up. And the pop-up's super simple, and it just says like, what's the source, what's the medium, what's the keyword, content, and campaign. That's it. That's all it's asking you to type in. And you're like, I don't know what any of these things are, and I don't know how I should organize this stuff. Well, they give you some examples. So for instance, you have one that's for Facebook, one that's for Facebook pages. They have a thing for Outbrain, Taboola, and My Newsletter. And if you click on each one of those, they'll kind of fill it in. You can kind of get a rough idea of what it is. But what's nice about this is if you remember it, like if you don't want to remember how to do this stuff, you can save them as presets.
Ooh,
so now you just make a preset.
Now we're talking.
So I work at a church, and they're experimenting with this thing called a QR code, which came out like 30 years ago. and
I thought they were dead.
But they use them, and because of the fact that they have somebody named Jason Tucker who loves UTM codes, I'm actually using those as a way of tracking whether or not they're using the actual QR code or
are
if
they
they're going
using
to a
it?
URL.
Are they really?
Are.
No way.
No joke.
I don't get those things. You got to take your phone out and take a picture.
They do it. You take a picture, you click the thing.
Just give me the URL.
Yep. And what's funny is now once they get to the site, I try to figure out, are they on Android or are they on iPhone? Both. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is crazy.
I mean, they do that like karaoke bar. That's how you get the.
Yep. But that and what's hilarious though is that they'll put the QR code like this big on the piece of paper, and then they have like the URL below it, which is nice and short and clean and easy. But it's hilarious because people actually go like, oh, let me get my phone out, and our web address is super simple. It's 4 characters long plus 3 characters. It's teeny tiny short. But yet they would rather QR code it, which they're sitting there fumbling, trying to figure out how to get their phone to work. But it's fun and interactive, and so they want to do that.
Know your audience. We talked about this earlier. Wow.
So here's the thing that's really interesting about this thing. Once you install it, it'll actually use a URL shortener service for you. So if you have Bitly, which I use Bitly for mine, you can actually use Bitly, and you put in your Bitly credentials, and it will shorten the URL and then put the codes behind it. Wow. Now it's doing all the tracking.
Bam.
Yep. It's pretty slick.
Handy dandy.
So feel free to go take a look at that. I'd give you the URL, but Chrome extensions have this really crazy long,
It's ridiculous.
UID thing. It's like nuts. So I'm not giving you that, but I'll give you a link in the show notes. Feel free to go take a look at that. Do you have something you can share with us?
I thought of something. Okay, so everybody's probably heard of this, and I had heard of it, but this first time I used it, Bridget told me about it. Calendly. Have you used Calendly?
Ooh.
So I have not been very good about like scheduling things when people, people just call me, and if they emailed me first, I might pick up the phone. But so now I've been running into conflicts a lot because I'm dealing with a lot of clients, and people want to have meetings with me, and we have different time zones. And so Calendly, which has a free version that is very functional, you can set up meeting blocks. So I have 15, 30 and 1 hour, 30 minutes and 1 hour meetings. And it displays a calendar with little time blocks, and people can pop into my special URL and select a meeting time and book it on my calendar. And once it gets booked, it will not show up on the page anymore. So it's a great way to kind of let people know when you're available. It clears up any time zone issues. Like I have a couple clients on the East Coast, some in like Wisconsin, and we're always doing this time zone conversion thing. And sometimes we mess up, and, we're like an hour off, and like, where are you? I don't know what's going on. So if you do it like that, then it goes onto their calendar. It's at the right time. It shows up for them at the right time. And then I get the right time. And then, everybody's slots are booked. You can see when I'm still open, or, I'm going to WordCamp Europe in next month, and I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. So don't book anything then. So I can block that all out on Calendly. Done. Thank you, Bridget.
I learned it from Jen Miller, and it saved my life.
Thank you, Jen.
I couldn't even function without it.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan now. I'd heard about it before, but I just never thought to use it, and it makes so much sense.
And you can add your calendars to it.
Yeah.
So like you can tell to look at your own calendars.
Yeah.
So I have a calendar for work, and I have a calendar for home, and I use Google everything. So you just turn them all on, put all the URLs in there, and it just goes like, Jason's never available. Sorry.
Don't even try.
You can even put your lunch in there. I have a recurring lunch. It's just like every time at this time, recurring lunch. That's it. Don't bug me.
And I've started a thing now where I have this bad habit of booking meetings at 9 a.m. on Monday. Like on Thursday, say, how about Monday? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's okay. And then Monday morning rolls around, and I have a crap ton of emails that I need to deal with. And I'm like, oh God, I got a meeting in 5 minutes. So now I have my Calendly, I'm booked until like after lunch. And on Friday I leave early. And so
I literally, after you and I talked about that, I literally did the same thing. I'm like, why am I making 9 a.m. meetings on Monday?
No.
I would rather meet with you on Saturday.
Yeah, book yourself a meeting.
Yeah.
Like just say like, I'm not available. I'm out of office. Done.
Standing
That's
meeting. Done.
Yeah, standing meeting.
Next.
Me and the cats have a meeting. That's it.
Exactly.
Or yoga or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
I put in my kickboxing.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
The only thing is give yourself that buffer time where you're going to be.
You sure do need to do
for
that.
The people that want to push to the end of the hour, and it's like, I gotta go right today. Yeah.
Especially if you're driving somewure.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for being on the show. I'm
thank
you about it, but good topic. There's lots of developers who are trying to market themselves, and
we could probably go on for hours, really.
Yeah, but like that's it. GitHub, LinkedIn, CodePen, build up your portfolio.
Get on social media, talk to people, talk to real people outside of your home.
That's the hardest part. It's easier on social media though.
But yeah, like making connections with real people. Sometimes people you just met, you might get lucky. I don't know. It's cool.
So people can follow you over on Wise Arts on Twitter, Instagram as well, right?
Yep, Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, all the places.
Cool.
Just not if you're a recruiter.
Yeah, no. I'm not looking for anything right now. I'm very busy. I'm trying to finish all my stuff before WordCamp Europe, so I don't have to try to work in a different time zone on the other side of the world while I'm over there.
Yeah,
so hopefully that'll be a non-working time, and I can just enjoy the WordCamp.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Bridget really appreciates it. The folks, and we've had folks that are in the chat room. We're going to have people that are going to listen to this as a podcast. So feel free to go take a look at that too. You can go over to our website at WPwatercooler.com/subscribe. That's where you can find out all the cool information that's happening over there. If you want to look at just the content for this particular show, WPwatercooler.com/WPblab. And that's where you can find all the cool stuff that's happening there. We're on everything. If you listen to the stuff on Stitcher, we're on Stitcher. We're on Google Play. We're on iTunes. We're on all that fun stuff. So feel free to go on to those and subscribe away. You can listen to us wherever you are. And YouTube, we always stream this stuff to YouTube. It's youtube.com/WPwatercooler. That's where we post all this fun stuff over there. There's a whole playlist just devoted to this particular content. And we really appreciate all of you guys for hanging out with us and talking with us. If you have any questions for us, feel free to go and leave us a comment at the comments below. We would really appreciate that. That's about it, folks. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.